Hey guys, it's me here with our weekly update. As you can see behind me, I am sitting in my car while my daughter is at her soccer practice. For all you sports parents, you know exactly what this is. And so I figured I would use this opportunity to talk with you guys. And it's funny is, we're in the season where we're going to be in the car more with our kiddos. Now having a kid that has, gotten his own license and driven by himself, and then still having one kid that I have to tote around, I find myself very thankful for these opportunities that we get to spend in the car with my daughter because even with my son, like there are just so many great conversations that happen while we're driving in the car that I just value these opportunities. And so I just want to encourage you parents, if you find yourself feeling like you're just constantly running around, to just think about and ask the Lord, like, how can I use this time with my kiddos intentionally? Like, what are questions we can ask? Or, when my daughter was younger, we used to listen to like the Tiny Theologians podcast, or like, can we listen to a podcast together? And it just would spark some great conversations. And so I would encourage you guys to think through, are there ways for you, or if you're talking to other parents and they're like bemoaning the fact that they're in the car with their kids, to just encourage them to think of this time as an opportunity to connect with their kids in a way that maybe you can't do once you're home because you're focused on chores and homework and everything else, or their kids are distracted by electronics. Um, so there's just that little thought that's running through my head. We are in March, which is really crazy to think. It's funny how January feels like it lasts forever, and then February and March just start to swing by really fast. So there's a lot that's happening. It's going to be happening. First off is this Friday and Saturday. If you guys are not aware, we have our Awake conference. And so we call it our Holy Spirit conference, but it's not our traditional Holy Spirit stuff. So if you're like, how many more times can I sit and listen to how do we hear from the Lord? That's it. That's not what this is. This is something very different. I think it's going to be centered around identity. I don't really know the full um, topics, but I know it's just gonna be different. It's gonna be really good. And we're bringing in a guy from the UK to teach. And so I'm actually going to be there attending. I'm really looking forward to just get to sit and learn and grow. And so you guys, these opportunities are just amazing spaces for you guys to learn, to grow, some soul care. And just in a ways that Sunday mornings can't fill you up, right? And so there's Friday night and there's Saturday morning. Even if you can only make one or the other time slots, that's great. There's childcare if you need it. So it's not too late to sign up, you guys, for that. Another thing is this Sunday, so it's March 8th, there's live worship. So elementary and epic kiddos, be prepared within your lesson planning to bring the kids in 20 minutes after the start of service for worship. Um, Also, I think a couple weeks ago, you guys, I asked you all about the child abuse and neglect training, and then I don't know if I gave you guys the link, so I'm going to include that again. So just a reminder, this is something that everybody on the team, whether you're a greeter, a captain, nursery, all the way through Epic, you guys have to take this training. This is something we require of everybody. It's something you only have to do every 2 years. So if you feel like, hey, I've done this at least once before, feel free to reach out and I will try my best to figure out if I can give you a date of when you last took it. But this is something I need from everybody. And it takes about 1, maybe 2 hours to complete, depending on how fast you can get through the videos and stuff like that. And then at the end, you take a test and then you get a little certificate. And I need a copy of that certificate that shows that you have taken the training and passed. And then you have to send me a copy of that, or you can send it to Stephanie. Can we get that all done by March? Otherwise, I'm going to have to start calling and bugging everybody for those certificates. Another thing is, not this Sunday, but next Sunday after second service, there is a child baptism class. So this is a class that I'm holding probably about twice a year for kids who are interested in being baptized. And this is where parents come with the kiddos and we sit down and we talk through the gospel. We talk through what is baptism. It's a great way. So I do a little bit of teaching and then I give kids and parents a chance to talk and answer some questions to give parents a chance to feel equipped and ready to have these conversations with their kiddos. So I'm going to have flyers in the elementary and epic room. So teachers, this Sunday, as you're talking with the kiddos, if there's any kids that, if you want to just say, hey guys, we have a baptism class coming up. So this isn't a flyer I'd probably send home with everybody just because some of our kids have already been baptized. But definitely to find out, like, if there's any child who is interested in being baptized, to send a flyer home with them and let their parents know, like, this class is coming up next week. And I do need people to pre-register because we will have lunch for them if they are attending. Um, Another thing is next Sunday, our first through third grade kiddos will be starting a new series. So our series this year is not lining up on the actual month, and that's okay. Our preteens they're still staying on within the month, and they started last week on a series called Ultimate, which I think went really well with the kiddos. It's just talking about how God is like the ultimate. He is the Lord of Lords, the God of gods. And that's from Deuteronomy. And so, but next week, our first through third graders, well, actually third grade and younger, you guys will all finish up your Miracles of Jesus series this weekend. And then next weekend, we go into are leading up to our Easter series, which is called Created New, which gives, it's actually basically it's a series that goes through like the entire story of the Bible in 4 or 5 weeks. So it's the, creation, fall, redemption, like that story arc. And with that series, they gave us a really cool resource. They gave us a family resource where it's using like various types of art to just share these different stories with kiddos. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to actually create bags starting. So on the 15th, you could start sending them home, one per kid, where there's like different activities that they could do as they talk about the different topics at home. So it's just a really different way for parents to engage with their kiddos. And it's not just like a piece of paper, but it's a very like interactive, artsy type style of resource that we're going to send home with all of our third grade and younger kiddos. And like I said, it's one bag per kid, and I'll have extras because not every family shows up on the one Sunday. If there's anybody who next week has some time and would like to come up to the church for like an hour or so and help me stuff bags, I would greatly appreciate it. But then you also get a little sneak peek of what's in the bags. So that's our Created New series that will lead us up through Easter, which will then lead us into our Palm Sunday, Family Worship Sunday, which I've started recruiting kiddos for that and working on the songs. So just be aware that's Palm Sunday will be our Family Worship Sunday. And that's just a reminder, guys, of where kids will go with the adults in the auditorium. We all worship together, and then we have chaos in the lobby where we try to figure out where kids go to which class, and then we take them back to the classroom for the rest of the day. We will have palm branches, which will be super exciting. Then we have Holy Week, and then we have our Easter egg hunt. And so you guys, again, if you have participated or visited or come to any of our family events, you guys, we're reaching hundreds of people in our community. Like, we had probably over 400 people last year at our Easter egg hunt. So we're going to do things different. We're going to actually try to pull it outside. But just like with any of our big community events like this is something where we need as much help as possible. And we stagger the egg hunt time. So it's like one of those things where it's like, if you got like a kid, like you want to help out, like, but you're like, hey, I want to go with my kid for their egg hunt. That's perfectly fine. And then we could just, get somebody to swap with you or something like that. But, this is just one of the things where the more people we have helping out, the more we're able to do and provide for the community. So, do we want to have coffee and donuts? Well, if we do that, we need people to hand them out. Because people have to wait for their egg hunt times, we like to have games so that there's something for the kids to engage in. Well, we need game hosts, and obviously we're going to do a bounce house, and so we need people to help monitor that. And then for the actual egg hunt, we need people that are willing to lay out the eggs, or for the older kids, we're going to try to see if we can figure out a way to hide them around the field and stuff like that. And then there's also things like ahead of time where it's like some eggs we already have that are pre-stuffed, some eggs we still need to stuff, and sorting things and stuff like that, gathering all the game supplies and things like that. So even if you're like, well, maybe I can't help for the egg hunt, but I have time the week before to help gather the supplies, like that's always super helpful. And then there's also, if you guys look on the app for the Easter egg hunt volunteer stuff, there's a link to an Amazon wish list where you can donate supplies as well to help keep the cost down, because when you have hundreds and hundreds of people coming to an event, it just tends to get pretty costly. So that's the Easter egg hunt. That's Saturday, April 4th. And then the next day, you guys, is Easter Sunday, which is April 5th. Again, this is one of those times where we tend to have a lot of people showing up. So I think Christmas Eve, we had just shy of 700 people. So we could potentially see just as many on Easter Sunday. And so what that means is we're going to have 3 services, I believe it's like 8, 9:30, and 11. For those of you who are on an every other week schedule, you will automatically get placed on Easter Sunday. But for those of you who aren't already scheduled to serve that Sunday, I would love, like this is one of those things where I would love to have all hands on deck, to the point where we can have all of our classrooms filled, ready to receive all the kiddos. And even to the point where it's like, I know we don't normally have like a 1-year-old classroom on a Sunday morning, but this might be a great opportunity that if we have enough people saying yes, that maybe just for like our 9:30 service, because that middle one always tends to be popular, that maybe we could actually offer that to help relieve some of the numbers in the toddler room. And so just to create more space to welcome more families and to make it just a great experience for everybody on Easter Sunday. And then because we do have kids that will sometimes sit in service, we'll need bags for that and stuff like that. So again, if you're able to help out on Easter Sunday in any way, shape, or form. Oh, also elementary teachers. Um, again, I'll reach out to you guys directly, but captains, greeters, things like that. If you can do all 3 services, that's great. If you guys want to split the services, that is fine as well. I just need to know that so we can get everything on the schedule. So thank you guys so much for your time. I know this was kind of longer, but there's just a lot happening right now. And so I just wanted to take a few minutes to share that all with you. So thank you guys so much. I will see you. If I don't see you guys at the conference this weekend, I will see you Sunday morning.